Turns out that male orcas are so needy that their mothers are more likely to stop having kids after they have a male orca baby.
Okay, I know what you're all thinking. You're comparing it to humans.
What? What do you mean?
You see?
Are you saying that males are more needy?
And that maybe.
Have you ever seen them when they get sick? Because I have. I've seen it with my dad, and I'm thinking maybe it's an older person thing, right? Then I saw it with my husband, and no, it's not. Men, when they get sick, human men, oh my God, they just melt into baby mode. What is it with you guys?
All right, a lot more of that in a second, but first let's find out about orcas.
Okay, so look, two things are happening. Number one, the male orcas are more needy, right? And they rely on the mother for far longer to be fed. At the same time, there are less fish, less salmon, probably because of the damage we're doing to the environment, okay? So orcas are smart and they're like, yo, limited supply, high demand with this boy. I think I'm done with the kids. Okay, let me give you the details. Male killer whale children were already known to be needier than their female counterparts, demanding continual feeding by their mommies who bite salmon in half and share it with their male sons, even after they're fully grown and can go get their damn fish on their own, okay? I added that last part, but let's keep it real. Now, this new study is the first time scientists have observed that this preferential treatment has a permanent or takes a permanent toll on the whale mothers. Researchers studied decades worth of census data that tracked 40 female orcas living off the Pacific coast of Washington State and British Columbia since 1982. Here's what they found. They found that female orcas who had a son were about 50% less likely than those who had daughters to have another whale baby survive its first year of life. In any given year, that held true even after the sons reached adulthood from 12 to 15 years old. In contrast though, researchers found no evidence that raising female offspring who achieve complete independence from their parent and do not demand continued feeding as adults reduce a mother's future reproductive chances.
Okay, so first of all, this makes perfect evolutionary sense in the case of the orcas. And so the reason for it is either the oldest orca, male orca, or the two oldest orcas reproduce, and the other orcas do not. Right? They're the ones that basically have sex with all of the women in their group, and so it creates an evolutionary instinct in the orca moms to keep their male children alive, because that's how they can spread out their genes the most efficiently, okay? Because then their genes could be in many different orcas. And so if the male dies younger, well then he never gets to reproduce.
Are you just hypothesizing or did you do extra research?
No, I looked into it.
Oh, interesting.
Look at this.
Okay, all right.
I like how Anna's so surprised I did research. Okay, but let's keep going. So by the way, so does it apply to humans? Well, of course not, we're different species, but a little bit. So orcas and humans share 80% of their DNA. Now, that sounds like a lot, and it is, and that's why we have some similar instincts. But it's also, when you're talking about DNA, not that much, okay? Because animals that are nothing like us share 70% of our DNA, right? So it's not as simple as 80% sounds like a lot. Chimpanzees and bonobos share about 98 to 99% of our DNA. They are very similar to us. Okay, and does evolution apply to us? Yes, of course it does. But we also have cultural factors that play into effect. So have you seen moms that baby their sons? Of course! Has my mom done that from time to time, and have I enjoyed it? Of course! Okay, so even to this day, my mom will be like so like ready to feed me, like obsessed with feeding me.
Oh yeah.
And where my sister will be rolling her eyes in the background, going, oh yeah. Okay, so that happens. You know it happens, right?
But I don't get it. Like, why is it an evolutionary advantage for the male offspring to be as needy as they are for as long as they are?
So in the case of the orcas,
like why don't they pick themselves up by the bootstraps?
by their orca bootstraps,
You know, by their fin straps.
Yeah, by their fin straps. That's hilarious. Okay, well, remember since in that particular species, the oldest orcas are the ones that reproduce. Everyone has an incentive in the family to make sure that the male orca in the family gets to live as long as possible.
Oh, so it's partly enabling the male offspring.
Yes.
Got it.
Oh, for sure. The mom is more evolutionarily driven than the male orcas, than the son is, because she's trying to get her genes into as many orcas as possible. Obviously, none of this is conscious. It's driven by our genes, and these genes developed through evolution to get them to that point. And by the way, one thing that orcas and humans share is that we're both, as the scientists say in this particular case, it's kind of funny, cosmopolitan, right? We both travel a lot, whereas our very close relatives, chimpanzees, barely travel at all. They stay within a very small knit community. Bonobos travel even less, but orcas and humans travel all across the world, and that's why we spread like a virus, by the way. Okay, but anyway, when it comes to orcas, they've got to get the boy there. When it comes to humans, why do we baby the males more than the females? If we do, and we kind of do, it seems like, that I don't have as much scientific research on, but colloquially, right? Well, there's the cultural stuff, like males are good at war and farming, okay? And you need the farming for the family to subsist. And the government wants to incentivize more males because they need them for the wars. So they create a culture that values males over females, okay? But the main genetic biological reason for it, and now that I'm just guessing, but work with me here, is that in our species, oftentimes the woman leaves the tribe, whereas the male stays in the tribe and creates more babies for this tribe as opposed to the tribe that the woman is going to. And really interesting, chimpanzees work the same way. The female chimpanzee goes off to the neighboring tribe, but the male chimpanzees stay in their own tribe.
It's interesting you say that, because I think it really does, when it comes to humans, I think it really does depend on culture, because, and obviously this is anecdotal, I don't have data in front of me, but what I've noticed and what I've heard a lot of moms complain about is once their kids grow up and they're adults, the son is gone. Right, he gets married, he's off doing his thing, he'll come and visit here and there, maybe, But the daughters, like me, visit every Sunday.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah.
So, of course, so for humans, obviously, it's very complicated because our DNA makes up our hardware. And so for people who go, oh yeah, I don't care about evolution, like Turks would say things don't cut them, like, oh, the flu doesn't cut me, right? Or like COVID doesn't cut me. Okay, trust me, it does, okay? But like someone would say, evolution doesn't cut me. No, dude, you are your DNA. It's inescapable, there's no way around it. All the things that you think you like them because that's your DNA. Your DNA is telling you to like them, okay? So that's certainly true, but we have massive software because of cultural issues. And so, for most of society before modern times, the family would have to pay a dowry for the woman for the other family, the other tribe to take the woman off their hands, right?
So ridiculous.
So that's why the dowry is you give to the husband in most cultures. But get a load of this, one last thing. In Tibet, it's a heavily female society, and women are more treasured. They can actually take two husbands, and then you have to give a dowry to the woman to take the husband.
Listen, I'm all for the dowry toward the woman. Okay, two husbands. That sounds like a lot of work. Not interested in that.
And by the way, when I say Tibet, it's a certain culture within Tibet. It's not all people in Tibet, and there's a lot of nuance to it.
To better believe it.
Oh! No way I'm topping that. I'm out. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.